Ukraine's city of Odessa is burying those who were burned alive in a barbaric act of violence on Friday. 46 people were killed and around 200 injured.
Fire breaking out in a building there. Fierce street clashes which culminated in a huge fire.
Clash between pro-Russians and government supporters led to a fire.
Well, clashes did take place. So did the fire, but there are many indications of who started it, and it's now known that all of those who died were citizens of Odessa. Here's video footage from that day most mainstream media has chose to ignore. You may find some of these images disturbing. Well, a gang of protesters and far-right nationalists tore down a makeshift camp of anti-Kyiv protesters outside a trade union house, driving them into the building for shelter. They started hurling Molotov cocktails into the building, which set it ablaze. There were pictures showing people with Molotov cocktails on the top of the building as well. What's clear is people couldn't get out since entrances were reportedly barricaded. Many had to jump out of windows. And some of those who managed to get outside were greeted with sticks and kicks. Some people also died of bullet wounds. Okay, TV news decided not to be explicit while covering the gruesome moment. Who cares who started the fire or that the deaths were not caused by clashes? Maybe online newspapers were more precise? Or not. People died in a hall set ablaze as pro-Russia protesters battled Kiev loyalists, say USA Today. A clear indication there that those pro-Russia protesters could be behind the violence and not the ones who actually burned to death. Newsweek reports of dozens killed as a result of clashes with no mention of those who died. But the Telegraph went further than that. Its journalists cite someone as saying that pro-Kyiv rioters tried to rescue those trapped inside and even formed a protective corridor to provide safe passage for them. Are you talking about this helping hand, or should I say feet? Well, there were much harsher pictures from inside the building, which we refuse to show. They're just too graphic. They're all available online if you dare to look. One thing is absolutely clear, that those people, 46 people, were burnt alive, and I find that hard to shake. But it would be unfair to not mention that we did find some more or less balanced reporting on the BBC website. They reported that pro-Kyiv gangs attacked the tent city first, as we showed you video, prompting people to flee and hide in the building. Plus, they cite an American journalist who described the scene as nothing less than a lynching. Here's what Odessa's police reported after Friday night's inferno. They say that the building caught on fire as a result of using Molotov cocktails by the offenders inside, meaning the anti-Kiev camps, you know, the so-called Russian separatists. So they basically suggest that these people set themselves on fire. But video shows the opposite. The makeshift government's leader, Yatsenyuk, has said that police are to blame for the violence. That makes sense. They really did do very little to stop the unprecedented brutality. But Yatsenyuk's second accusation came after he apparently failed to find Russia's hand in Odessa after saying this.
Find all instigators, organizers, and all those who began under Russian leadership a deadly attack on Ukraine and Odessa.
Well, the massacre wasn't unnoticed in the West. Swedish Foreign Minister Carl Bildt felt obliged to post his comments on Twitter. Horrible, says Bildt, but from his point of view, it was bloody pro-Russians who instigated the violence and killed themselves. Well, American diplomats were much more careful with their wording, probably a good choice here, although they didn't find enough courage to condemn the violence committed by pro-Kiev activists. Just a set of cliches: work together, restore calm, bring those responsible to justice. They run away to find a better life in a better place. but instead ended up maimed if lucky or dead if not. Armies of African refugees are seeking asylum in Israel but become targets of human traffickers who set up their torture camps in Sinai. More than 3,000 migrants per month are coming from Eritrea alone. Many of them are being kidnapped for ransom and tortured until their families pay up. If they don't, the traffickers kill the hostages. More than 4,000 people have already been killed since 2008. Around 1,000 are thought to be in captivity right now. Shocking that no one's talking about this. Foreign governments are not interested. Israel doesn't want these migrants, so it's turning a blind eye. The UN is also silent. Thousands of people killed in the last 6 years. Are African migrants any less people than, say, Americans, Russians, or French? There are those, though, who care.
25,000. They were melting plastic bags and dropping it in their bags. And this is the burns.
Activist Miron Estefanos, you just seen her in that clip, and she joins us live in the Now Tonight. You've been in contact with some of the people who were lucky enough to escape these torture camps. What do they say about what has happened to them there?
Well, everybody have a very unique story. So I've seen kids, children that are 2 years old being tortured. There were some kids that have to watch their mother being burned alive. And they survived. So these are the kind of people that I talk to. The torture it's not any other torture like we see in a horror movie or something. It's where people are tortured 24 hours a day, deprived, sleep deprived, and food deprived. They don't get to drink water. They get hanged. They get burned with molten plastic bags. This is a kind of torture, and a lot of gang rape as well. And their families have to listen to them as this is happening.
Thousands of people marched in protest to the Kremlin's Ukraine policy and for peace in the east of the country. I went to the demonstration in Moscow, and here's what I saw. This is the first time opposition demonstrators have hit the streets of the Russian capital in 6 months. Last March, they came out to protest the referendum in Crimea. Today, opposition organizers are promising up to 50,000 people. The main slogan, "No to the war."
Слава Україні! Слава Росії! Україна, ми з тобою! Україна, ми з тобою! Україна, ми з тобою!
People's criticisms here echo those of Kiev's and Washington's, people saying that Russia is the aggressor here and it's Russian intervention that is undermining peace in Ukraine.
Мы пришли, потому что идет война между Россией и Украиной.
Потому что я хочу, чтобы закончился этот беспредел на Украине. Это развязанная Путиным война.
We are protesting today because we are against the policy of our president or our power of the Kremlin. We don't want the war with the Ukraine, with any country.
March for Peace has pretty much seemed to gone off without any kind of incident. Official numbers from the city are now being given at around 5,000 people, but just from being here on the ground, it's clear that that number was much, much higher. Well, independent monitors put the turnout at 26,000 people who came out to this protest. But there were other demonstrations who showed up as well, including one to support the people of Donbass and their fight against aggression from Kiev. The world's most powerful are meeting today for a G7 get-together, and topping the agenda is
Putin's off the guest list.
Yes, with Russia no longer given a seat at the table.
Kicking Russia out of this club.
Russia has been defriended by the group, at least for now, for its Ukraine policy. Oh well, might as well look on the bright side. So we put together a list of the top 5 reasons the G1 is not so bad after all. Number 5, no more awkward family photos while trying to solve the world's most pressing problems. Pretty hard to agree on solutions in just 2 days when leaders can't even agree on a synchronized wave for the cameras. No more parody protests, although I think that might actually be missed a bit. Number 3, no more worrying about turning off the mics.
See, the irony is that what they need to do is get Syria to get Hezbollah to stop doing this shit.
No more bad influences. Each leader, after all, has a different way of looking at things. And some can't just look with their eyes, so no more face palming for friends. I might get in trouble for that one. And the number 1 reason the G1 might be more fun, no more dining with lightweights.
Mesdames et messieurs, je vous demande de bien vouloir excuser mon retard, qui est dû à la longueur du dialogue que je viens d'avoir avec M. Poutine. Qu'est-ce que vous préférez, que je réponde aux questions? Alors, y a-t-il des questions? Allez-y. Oui, oui.